Welcome back to The Outlier. I'm Sam Kukulis.
And I'm Mike Smith.
We have a lot going on, so we're going to dive right in. Many of the details of the missing Malaysia Flight 370 remain unknown, but here at The Outlier, we want to keep you up to date as to what we know. On Saturday, March 8th, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 departed Kuala Lumpur International Airport for Beijing. About 20 minutes later, someone inside the cockpit, right now believed to be the co-pilot, makes the last verbal communication with air traffic control, saying, "All right, good night." The transponder, which communicated coordinates of the aircraft, stopped responding. A Thai military radar was tracing the signal of Flight 370 when it disappeared. The flight was transmitting the normal flight path, but the Thai radar station saw an unknown aircraft which appeared to be flying in the opposite direction at the time. They believe it to be Flight 370. Approximately 1 hour into the flight, air traffic controllers lose contact with the plane entirely. An expected ACARS transmission does not happen again. Malaysian military radar detects what is believed to be the plane hundreds of miles off course. The flight misses the expected time of arrival in Beijing. Malaysia Airlines announces through Facebook that the aircraft lost contact with air traffic control. More than 7 hours after takeoff, a satellite made a last electronic connection with the plane, known as a handshake. Right now, the families of the 227 passengers and 12 crew members want answers. Answers remain unknown, and search crews from 26 countries are searching for the plane.
And speaking of aircrafts, an Oregon family is looking for a missing member of their family in a way typically reserved for combat. Kyle Peterson disappeared after a car crash in late February. Authorities on the scene that night said Peterson appeared to be fine after the accident, but now they can't find him. A drone was used Sunday to search a river. The family is just hoping for answers to put their minds at ease about what happened. Authorities have called off the active search.
This St. Patrick's Day, 3 large beer companies realized it would be anything but profitable to sponsor Boston's parade. The reason for their withdrawal? The event explicitly prevented LGBT groups from marching openly. Sam Adams, Guinness, and Heineken all pulled their sponsorship after it became clear that there would be a public outrage. But this is bigger than just a few beers. A record number of U.S. corporations are fighting against discrimination.
One person wouldn't budge on a banner, so I'm not marching in the parade if people can't express who they are.
While smart business planning obviously plays a part in the companies, are becoming less tolerant of discrimination.
This next story does not deal with beer, but it proves dreams really can come true. Organizers, aka wish granters in New Orleans, poured 500 pounds, look at it, of spaghetti noodles and 150 pounds of sauce into a bowl. Look at that. Ugh, what could be better? The bowl is 8 feet wide and contains a mass of deliciousness. The meal was made to help kick off Friday's Italian-American Marching Club Parade. I think it's just an excuse to eat a literal ton of pasta without feeling guilty.
With a look at this week's top headlines, Maya Petros is here with us for this week's PDQ. Maya?
Thanks, Sam. Loren Scott, fashion designer and longtime girlfriend of Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger, was found dead Monday morning in New York. The former model was found by her assistant hanging from a doorknob with a scarf around her neck. The Rolling Stones canceled their show in Perth, Australia, following the news. Scott was 49. New Jersey student Rachel Canning is back home after suing her parents. Canning alleged in her lawsuit that her parents had forced her out of their home. She asked them to pay for her high school and college tuition, along with living expenses. The lawsuit has not yet been officially dropped, but her parents' attorney says the conflict is over. 3 people have died after a drunk driver plowed through crowds at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas, Thursday. According to police, the driver, Rashad Owens, drove into the crowd after refusing to stop for an officer. 23 other people were hospitalized following the incident. A new mandate from the Department of Health and Human Services announced that health insurance coverage now cannot be denied to same-sex spouses. This will apply to health plans sold on and off Obamacare exchanges and follows the Supreme Court's decision last year to overturn the Defense of Marriage Act. The mandate will go into effect January of 2015. Navy SEALs took control of a commercial tanker that had been seized by armed Libyans Sunday night. The tanker Morning Glory had been carrying oil owned by Libya's national oil company. The hijackers had previously seized oil ports to block exports in a demand for more autonomy and shared oil revenues in Libya. That's a look at this week's top headlines. For the Outlier PDQ, I'm Maya Petros.
May the Force be with you. Star Wars Episode 7 will begin shooting soon. The Disney and Lucasfilm announced the new movie plans to start rolling out in May. The new Star Wars, directed by J.J. Abrams, will be set about 30 years after the 1983 Return of the Jedi. The movie plans to feature both new and familiar faces, including R2-D2. Star Wars Episode 7 is slated to hit theaters December 2015.
Some absolutely amazing ice pictures coming out of Wisconsin. Hopefully the cold never bothered them anyway. Ice caves, and they're drawing people in from all over the world. Over the past few winter months, more than 100,000 people came to the northern tip of Wisconsin to see what was beyond the ice-covered Lake Superior. They traveled over a mile in the bitter cold to get in the massive frozen sandstone caves called garages. And some of the areas are not quite open as garages, as you can see by this guy climbing into a hole. Inside are unique masterpieces made by Mother Nature. This is the first winter in 5 years where the caves have been accessible.
Chocolate. Who doesn't like it? But it's probably not something you would ever imagine your doctor prescribing. But new studies show that eating chocolate could help your health. Researchers are taking chocolate minus the fat and sugar and packing all the nutrients into a single pill to bring your heart some health benefits. Hospitals in Boston and Seattle will give chocolate pills packed with cocoa bean compounds called flavonols to 18,000 people for 4 years. It is believed flavonols found in dark chocolate can lower the risk of heart attacks and strokes because they have been found to improve blood pressure, cholesterol, insulin regulation, and other cardiovascular issues.
Record-setting for some, maybe chump change for another. Some billionaire tech executive in Silicon Valley has taken out a $201 million, yes, a fifth of $1 billion, life insurance policy. It is the largest ever issued according to the Guinness Book of World Records. The policy for the unnamed wealthy human is underwritten by 19 insurance companies. This means 19 companies are in support of this and accept the liability.
Oprah Winfrey is bringing her love of tea to the masses. Soon you'll be able to walk into Starbucks and order an Oprah chai tea. Winfrey teamed up with the coffee giant to develop the Teavana blend. It features an infusion of cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, and cloves. The tea will be available at Starbucks and Teavana stores across the U.S. and Canada beginning April 29th. All proceeds from the tea sales will go to charities that help youth education.
Patrick Wagner and our newest Outlier sports reporter are here with a look at the world of sports. Hello.
Hi, Mike. Well, the selection committee has spoken, the brackets have been filled, and tomorrow will kick off one of the greatest happenings in sports, NCAA March Madness. I'm Patrick Wagner.
And I'm Cecily Seljaskog.
So let's get started. Cecily, which region are you looking forward to most?
Well, Patrick, definitely the South region. I think they've got some of the best teams and some of my favorite teams. VCU, UCLA, Kansas, Syracuse, Florida, all great teams with a lot of experience. And with a lot of experience comes potential for some upsets and hopefully some Cinderella stories.
Yeah, I'm looking at a little bit of a different region. I'm looking at the West region. Right at the top, you've got Arizona, Wisconsin, and Creighton. Each one of them brings a little bit different. Arizona, one of my favorite teams, they're playing in San Diego. The Wildcat faithful are going to be out and be loud, and Arizona did not lose at home this season. That's a big thing. Wisconsin, they're going to be playing in Milwaukee, so their fans are going to be out there. They're going to be out in their own shade of red, cheering their badges on. Creighton touts Doug McDermott, who was a fantastic player. Also in that region, you're looking at Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State with lots of upset potential. So this region, I think, may not be the most talked about region, but definitely one of the more interesting ones to watch. Now, let's take a look at our Final Four selections. Cecily, who did you pick, and why do you like them?
Patrick, I chose Florida, Arizona, Iowa State, and Louisville. Florida's a great team. They're ranked #1 in their region right now. They've got a lot of experience. They won back-to-back championships in 06 and 07, and I think they're prepared this year. They're definitely pretty hyped up, and I think they're going to do well. As for Iowa State, they might not be everyone's first choice, but I think they're a team to look out for. They're an aggressive team, and offensively, they know how to protect that ball. Arizona, they've had a rough time the last couple of weeks, but prior to that, it had been smooth sailing for them. I think they're competitive, and I don't think they have very many competitors in their region that are going to stop them. As for Louisville, they've got two things, Coach Pitino and Russ Smith. Coach Pitino's got a lot of experience, and Russ Smith is a fighter. He'll put that team on his back if he has to, and he knows how to make clutch shots when it counts.
Yeah, on my Final Four, you look at up and down and you see coaching. Wisconsin, Louisville, Michigan, and Syracuse, Michigan State and Syracuse all have good coaching. Syracuse, when in the tournament, you want to pack your defense. Jim Boeheim and that zone defense is going to give a lot of these teams that like to live in the paint some trouble. Michigan State, Tom Izzo, and the NCAA tournament, those two things just go together like bacon and eggs. Wisconsin, I really like Wisconsin. They're going to travel well. They've got guys that can handle the ball, they can shoot the ball, they can rebound, they play defense. They do everything really well. And then, of course, I'm going to agree with you on Rick Pitino and the Louisville Cardinal. I think they might make a run for another title. That's just a good team. They put it together, and let's see how they do. Now, this leaves just one question. Who is going to win it all? Cecily, go ahead.
Without hesitation, definitely Louisville. I think they're ready for it. Coming in here ranked number 4, I think they're ready to show people why they're not number 4 and why they're number 1. They had one of the toughest schedules this season by far, and I think this has prepared them to be successful throughout the tournament. They've got Coach Pitino, they've got some of the best players, and I think they're going to take it all.
Well, I agree with you. Louisville got hosed on that 4 seed. I really like the University of Wisconsin Badgers. When you've got guys like Frank Kaminsky, who was a first-team All-Big Ten, you got Nigel Hayes, who was the 6th man of the year in the Big Ten, Ben Rusk, guys who can shoot the ball. I've never seen a team quite like Wisconsin that all 5 guys on the floor can handle the ball. They rotate through all 5 positions, and when you get those big guys, you get those centers that are trying to cover Wisconsin, you get them out, Wisconsin's going to shoot the ball. They do everything really well, and Bo Ryan is going to put them in a good situation. They've always made it to about the 16 in the Elite Eight. So, I like Wisconsin. Louisville, you heard it here. Louisville, Wisconsin. Well, that's going to do it for us. May the odds be in you and your bracket's favor. Back to Sam and Mike at the desk.
Cell phone, more like smell phone. That was dumb. But this is not. There is a new but not yet on the market device that lets you transmit smells. Yes, you will be able to send scents to friends and family who also have the device, and you can save them for later. You went to the beach for spring break? Awesome, me too. We could have saved the sweet smell of the ocean with this new invention. A beta launch is expected for July. The future is here, or at least it's on its way. Also, this is a horrible idea for teenage boys, or preteen boys, or probably most males who have male friends. But other than that, I'm all for this new thing. Smello-telephone.
Now they just need Smell-O-Vision for cooking channels.
Yes!
Right? I've always wanted it. So now we know it's not too far away.
Disney's got to be on top of this. They can already shoot things down in theaters. Oh man, if I could do that in my home theater, if I had one. I don't actually have one.
That's all I want. I just want to
One
smell
day.
what they're cooking.
If they could also remember Smart House? That thing
Yes,
that came
yes,
up
great
and it just
movie.
made food.
Great movie.
I've wanted that house my entire life. One day.
One day soon.
I'm Mike Smith.
And I'm Sam Kukulis. Remember, why be normal when you could be an outlier?